So, good evening, everyone. Kevin has joined us. Sarah has joined us from up in Maine, and that's Ram. Yep, there's Ram. Um, I guess you all got my email. Tonight, we're not going to continue with the Truth or Happiness Dhamma study. We're going to take a week break because I want to teach an apropos sutta tonight and also on Saturday. And I know you all got the newsletter about no more classes in Frenchtown for a couple of weeks, or you wouldn't be here. But we're incredibly fortunate to have this vehicle that works for us, and we can still continue to come together as a Sangha and offer us each other support in these really tough times. This worldwide crisis is the perfect opportunity. It's a great opportunity to practice the Dhamma and not lose our minds like so many seem to be doing right now. And we're experiencing this sutta tonight, the Ratana Sutta, is about taking true refuge in the Buddha, his Dhamma, and a well-focused and well-informed Sangha. And that's what we're doing right now. You know, in the midst of everything that's going on in our lives and everybody else's life, we can spend an hour and a half, depending on how long-winded I am tonight, in this true refuge. And I got to thank Kevin in the center square there. Does everybody's screen read the same? In other words, are you lined up on the screen the way I see you? I see Mike and Julia in the top left. Tim is just below that. Kevin is in the middle. Sarah is to the left of Kevin. Kevin's left side, and Ram is on the bottom. Is that the same for everyone? Oh, yeah, you got it. Somebody has to unmute their mic and say yes. And Jane is up at the top. Is that the same for everyone?
No. It's not, because everybody's monitor is a different size.
Gotcha. Okay. That helps a little bit. Yeah, Sarah's down at the bottom. Not that you belong there, Sarah. Just so I know, obviously I can't see it from your side. I don't know if it's a different screen from the host as it is to those that are seeing it. But let me get to tonight's class. Again, I think you'll see that this is completely appropriate for right now. The teaching known as a dual discourse, or the Ratana Sutta, or the three refuges, was given in the city of Vaisali at the time of widespread famine and spreading disease, just like today. There were many dead bodies as the conditions overwhelmed the ability to properly dispose of the bodies. The local citizens sought out the Buddha's help, who was nearby in Rajagaha. This is the Ratana Sutta from the Samyutta Nikaya 2.1. At that time, the city of Vaisali, there was widespread famine and spreading disease. There were many dead bodies as the conditions overwhelmed the ability to properly dispose of them. The local citizens sought out the Buddha's help, who was nearby. The Buddha arrived in Vaisali a short time later with a large number of monks, including Ananda. Just before the Buddha's arrival, torrential rains helped the situation somewhat by cleansing the landscape of rotting corpses, clearing the air and water. It was a pretty awful time, wasn't it? And you can imagine the panic in the people then. They didn't even have a government trying to reassure them, and they really didn't have any services at all except those that they could scare up for themselves. And they were looking around and seeing their friends and their family just drop dead by the thousands. And in that setting, the Buddha tries to and succeeds in bringing calm. And what's even more important than that momentary calm is the path so that they can individually establish that calm and peaceful mind for themselves. He doesn't just help them out with a bowl of food or a bag of cash and move on. He stays and gives them his time and the Sangha's time and teaches them the Dhamma so they have something truly worthwhile to take away from that. Prior to his presenting the following discourse, he instructed his attending monks to walk through the city and do what they could to ease the physical suffering of the cities, and then to individually present the Dhamma to them as they were interacting. And so that's an important part of this teaching, and it's something that we need to recognize for ourselves. The Dhamma is not magic, and it's not meant to be magic. In other words, it's not meant to, just because we might meditate for an hour today, that God, the Buddha, is going to do something nice for me because I put in that effort. The only benefit we gain from the Dhamma is our own direct efforts in developing the Dhamma and then changing our view from a wrong, reactive, fear-based view to a right and calm view. That's what the Buddha Dhamma takes us too, from that reactive type of mind to a calm and peaceful mind. And in that way, within ourselves, we create the true refuge of the Dhamma. Much like the Sangha is a group of people holding the Dhamma for each and every one of us. When we develop it with ourselves, we're doing the same, and we can then be reciprocal with the Dhamma. Does that make sense, everybody? Just shake your heads, because I'm not going to hear you. And that is our responsibility today. We can have, there's so many things we can and should be doing right now to help other people. But the most important thing, and it's something that I talk about almost every week, is to take to the Dhamma and awaken, because then we can maintain a calm and peaceful mind and make wise decisions framed by the Eightfold Path, rather than reactive decisions that may and probably will lead to more suffering for people. And again, this is such an appropriate sutta for that, because that's just what he teaches. At the formal teaching, the Buddha then presented a way to bring true refuge from the stress and suffering of the world, and to put an end to all individual contributions to stress and suffering. The Buddha's words. May all beings assembled here have peace of mind. Again, just think of the profundity of that question. The Buddha is not starting out with, oh, you poor dears, and oh, this is so terrible, what's happened to you? Isn't the world so unfair to people? Because that would be the cruelest thing to say, wouldn't it? It's a human knee-jerk reaction to commiserate in that way, and it's one of the most hurtful things that we do as a matter of habit. The Buddha starts out with the most important thing, and I would say it's my most important thing as a Dhamma teacher. May all beings assembled here have peace of mind. It's a straight and direct statement which informs us that it's up to us as individuals to develop that. May all beings assembled here have peace of mind. May all beings assembled listen mindfully to these words. May you all radiate goodwill and loving kindness to all who offer help and understanding. And then understand this. There is no more precious jewel, no more refuge, no more comfort than the Buddha. And this is an important point here. The Buddha is not holding himself out as a savior, even though that could be ignorantly implied by that. Isn't that what he's presenting himself? He's presenting himself as an example of someone who has developed the Dhamma, and in the midst of this chaotic world that everybody is living in during his time and our time, he's an example of a calm and peaceful mind. And he starts out this teaching with, what's the point? What's the point in all this, in all that's going on in the world then and now, and pre and post COVID-19 the situation here? It's what we should always be striving for, is a calm and peaceful mind in this moment. And when we do it as we do it, as a matter of course, as a matter of the simple consequence of living our lives, our daily practice is living within the framework of the Dhamma. When something like this comes down the pike, we maintain a calm and peaceful mind. We don't lose our minds over it. We don't get lost in fear. We don't make poor decisions, because we have grounded ourselves in a well-centered mind that is able to incorporate the Eightfold Path as a constant response to human life. The Buddha continues, beautiful words here. As woodland groves in the early heat of summer are crowned with blossoming flowers, so is the sublime Dhamma leading to the calm and peace of nirvana, meaning the culmination of the path. The peerless and excellent awakened one, the teacher of true understanding, the teacher of the noble path, is the Buddha, the one who has awakened. And again, he's holding himself out not as an extraordinary or a superhuman being. He's holding himself as an example of a common human being that developed this Dhamma. I'm just skipping over some of my commentary. I'm skipping over a lot of commentary. The Buddha's words. There is no more precious jewel than the teachings of the Buddha or the Dhamma. Understanding this brings true liberation and freedom. The Buddha, calm and mindful, has experienced the cessation of clinging and desire. He's making that declarative statement to these folks that are distraught, that have literally lost their minds. And he's saying, the Buddha, me, as a human being, I am calm and mindful. I have experienced the cessation of clinging and desire, wanting things to be different than they are. The deathless state of nirvana has been attained. The Buddha teaches the noble Eightfold Path that unfailingly brings concentration, liberation, and true freedom. There is no more precious jewel than the Buddha's Dhamma. So in all the world, in all the things that we might crave for, strive for, grasp after, the sparkly things that grab our attention as human beings that are rooted in ignorance of Four Noble Truths, the Buddha is saying they're all like foam on the ocean. All of those things, all the silver and the gold in the world is worthless unless you can have a calm and peaceful mind no matter what's occurring. And isn't that true? Think about it right now. All the money in the world is not going to, well, we're trying to throw a lot of money out. What I was going to say is all the money in the world is not going to stop the virus. It's going to help. But individually, it doesn't matter how much we have in the bank if we're going to get the virus or not. It's indiscriminate. It's a perfect example of what's occurring in the world right now, of the inherent unfairness to life. Life cannot and should not be even considered that it should be fair, because it can't be. And then how things unfold in a completely impersonal way, because that's just what COVID-19 is doing, isn't it? There's not this virus running out saying, there's that bald old fart, and it's time he stopped teaching the Dhamma, let's get him. It's not like that. It's completely impersonal. If we get it, it wasn't meant for me. It just means that I got it because I'm living in the world today, period. And again, we can all take measures that keep us more safe, but I'm just making that point. This virus is the perfect example of the impersonality of all suffering in the world. And look what it's got. It's got the whole world in a frenzy about what they think is going to be suffering, when in fact it's just another event that we don't have to lose our minds over. And that's what the Buddha is saying here as a refuge. We have returned to the refuge of the Dhamma today, right here and right now, in this virtual classroom, this virtual meditation session. The Buddha continues, there is no more precious jewel than the Sangha. Understanding this brings true liberation and freedom. The virtuous ones who bring the Dhamma, they are the jewel of the Sangha. Those with steadfast minds, free of clinging, they are the jewel of the Sangha. Those that understand with wisdom the Four Noble Truths, they are the jewel of the Sangha. Excuse me. The Buddha continues. Those that gain true insight, and we know what true insight is, we went through that 36-week class. Those that gain true insight and abandon self-delusion and indulges in meaningless rites and rituals, they are the jewel of the Sangha. Just think about the millions of people that are doing rain dances tonight, hoping to stop the virus in that way. Those beyond despair and evil doings, they are the jewel of the Sangha. Those whose understanding arises from the support of the Sangha, who can no longer conceal the truth for themselves due to the Sangha, they are the precious jewel of the Sangha. Those whose karma is extinguished, the future of no concern, with rebirth ending due to the support of the Sangha, this is the precious jewel of the Sangha. It's the end of the sutta. What a way to finish that sutta too, on the importance and the incredible preciousness of the Sangha that we have created, each and every one of you. This is not, our Sangha is not something that I created or me and Matt created. If that was the case, me and Matt would be sitting there by ourselves week after week. The truth of the matter is we have all created this Sangha, and we're all able to take refuge in it right now. You could look at tonight's class and our ongoing integration of the Dhamma as the dividend of our own right efforts. This is the culmination of it, and we're able to maintain a calm and peaceful mind. So let's go around and see what you have to say. And remember, none of you have to talk at all, just pass. But let's start with the top left corner, and Michael and Julia, if you want to unmute your mic, or I will.
How's that?
That's perfect.
What I really like about this, and obviously what's going on in the world today, and Julie and I have discussed this several times, and as recently as today. But what's really gives us peace of mind, quality of mind, that is, it's calm. and non-reactive, basically, to what is going around. We like the idea, and again, like that, we can take refuge in the Buddha's Dhamma, okay? And by taking refuge in the knowing that, we're going to be okay, because this is a life plan. This is a way of life that, that's, if you follow it, it leads to the cessation of all those things that used to bother us or still bother us. But we know that it's going to, from what we've learned so far and how we've, walked this path for the period of time that we've experienced, a different view of things. We've experienced, a dispassion for things from an understanding point of view. So that's where we're finding refuge now. And it's a good feeling to know that no matter what happens in life, whether it's this virus or the next one or whatever it is to occur, we basically understand that the answers that we're searching for or looking for are there with us on a daily basis as we practice the Buddha's Dhamma. So that's what I got out of this, and that's what we're getting out of this time. So
it is. You describe the preciousness of what we're developing here in this Dhamma. Julie, do you have anything to add to that?
As you always say, the world is aflame right now, and it's amazing to actually be able to center yourself, and feel peace, amongst chaos, and you watch with great dispassion at everything around you, and you're still able to maintain, equanimity within yourself, which is so important, and especially when the rest of the world is stressed out and in fear. It's important to be able to navigate through those waters.
Yeah.
And I feel that strength and that peace. And believe me, John, the Sangha is really important for us. We actually don't want to ever miss it, and we miss everybody and being there present, but we're very happy that we actually have this forum that we can actually be with all of you, and share.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that today. It's just we're so fortunate that we live in a time when the technology is available and we can still meet like this.
Yes, we're lucky. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, and I've gotten more than a few emails and telephone calls from people that are just so desperate and not knowing what to do next. And the only thing I can do is take a breath and go wash your hands. I mean, it's just, and again, not to dismiss people, but the contrast between those of us that have developed the Dhamma and are able to maintain a calm and peaceful mind, and if you can do that now, you're really doing something. And those that haven't, and what I was thinking this afternoon, it's just so tragic that I wish my response would be able to change the way they're thinking, but it takes a little bit more work than just one person. But at least now that I got the call or the email tells me that at least they're looking in the right direction, and that's the first step. If we simply open the door towards right view and continue with it, I was explaining that to someone a little bit earlier today. The Dhamma only takes continued right effort to develop, but it does take right effort, and look at the benefits of it. So
yes, John. Thank you, John.
Go up to, the top right of my screen to Jane. If you're up there, hi Jane.
Hi, John. First of all, it's a real treat for me to get to see faces tonight. I get to see your face all the time, but
yeah, I know. That gets a little tiring, doesn't it?
So it's nice to see everybody. I agree with what Mike and Julia said. I mean, it's like with our Dhamma practice, I just feel like I can, be peaceful no matter what occurs. I have what I need. I can just take a breath and it's okay.
Isn't it wonderful? I mean, it really is. Not that, boy, I said this is a great opportunity to practice the Dhamma. Not that, gee, isn't it great that I'm so calm and peaceful when the whole world is crazy? But it's pretty nice to be calm and peaceful when the whole world is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
certainly.
then we can actually be of service. If I was losing my mind along with, years ago, when I heard of this, my first stop was to my dealer, and my second stop was the liquor store, because this is the perfect time to continue losing your mind, isn't it? But here I am, that I can actually do something worthwhile and meaningful, and it's only because of the Dhamma. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, did I thank you yet for stepping up the other day, Saturday?
Oh.
Kevin, man, Kevin.
Turn your mic on, Kev.
I'm going to leave it alone. I keep muting.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you for stepping up last Saturday.
Oh no, my pleasure. It was nice to keep the discussion going. Sorry we lost you there, but
you and Jen did a great job. She said it was mostly you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to continue. I think that this refuge, especially now, is very, very important to all of us. And you know what you were saying before, this is sort of an opportunity for us to notice the Dhamma right in front of us, and some of the fruits of our right efforts. You know, I mean, where one of the suttas, is it the Loka Sutta, John, or the about where there's desire, there is fear. And you know, when we have desire for things to be different than they are, such as a situation now, we're going to be fearful of what's happening, instead of what's happening is a pretty stressful situation for the world and us as well. But if we're able to understand that it's something that is occurring now, and hopefully not for, you know, maybe it's another month or 2 or 3 or 4, but we're going to be able to utilize all the practice that we've been putting out there and working on. So that's to the results of the Sangha, or to the support of the Sangha, and to your teaching, for you to keep continuing, especially in these circumstances. And thank you for being so forthright in doing that, John. So
you're welcome, and thank you all for participating. I mean, we're keeping the Sangha going too while we're doing this. While you were talking, Kevin, again, what's going on right now speaks to the heart of the Dhamma and what we've been learning about the 3 marks of existence, the impermanence of everything. Think about the change from one day to the next, from pre-COVID-19 to post-COVID-19. It changed everything in just the blink of an eye. And it changed everything because of a significant aspect of impermanence, which is uncertainty. Because everything is impermanent, we can never know what the next moment's going to bring. And the next moment might bring COVID-20 or COVID-40, whatever, you know, worse and worse situations. But it also might bring the next moment somebody who has an instant cure for it. And that might happen tomorrow too. The point is, because of all that uncertainty, it's always here, not just during the crisis, it's always present. The only proper response, or only reasonable response, is to learn how to control my mind, or else I'm always going to be reacting to things that happen. And I might hear something about a new emerging virus that might take over the world. And that distracts me away from what's most important, rather than just living my life like we're all doing, and developing reasonable strategies to live in a newly emerging world situation. The Dhamma is perfect for it. So thank you, Kevin. Hello, Ram. Good to see you. I'll unmute you.
Thank you.
There you go. What do you got to say?
Yeah. Well, we live in interesting times. And yeah, to see this level of impermanence kicks it all up a little notch, or more than a little notch. And I'm grateful that I'm actually able to take all this so-called bad news in stride. You know, I know what I can do at the moment. I know what I should be doing at the moment, and that's pretty much where it ends. I keep going, and you know, being at the age that I am, and in the situation that I am, I'm also looking at, you know, yes, I should really take to the Dhamma, because this could be over. in not too long a time. You know, I'm in that category where I could keel over in a month or so. But it puts that extra effort in there to take to the Dhamma and to really penetrate it and get to that calmer state of mind than I am now. And I'm incredibly grateful for you and for the whole Sangha that we have all gotten to this point where we are the Sangha and we are able to, just by being here, support each other in our quest to penetrate the Dhamma and to make it ours and to integrate it. That's all I know.
Thank you, Ram. You brought up another important point of what we're doing, and I kind of touched on it earlier, but you were much more eloquent. We are restoring and preserving the Dhamma for people now and people for all time, because, you know, as we know, the Buddha's authentic Dhamma is mostly gone from the world. And I would expect that there's got to be pockets around like us. I mean, I can't be the only brilliant genius that figured out the Dhamma. But I don't know of any. And I think I might, you know, that I think I would likely hear of someone saying, hey, I came across you and I'm doing the same thing. I haven't heard that yet.
We do seem to be a bit more organized in that.
We do. And, you know, Matt, on our teachers retreat, Matt used the word restoring the Dhamma. And I never thought of it that way, even though that's exactly what we're doing.
Yep.
Because, again, I don't know any place that presents the Buddha's Dhamma in as authentic and skillful and useful way than we do. And again, that doesn't mean we're better or anything. It just means that's what's occurring. And that does have, I don't know if the right word is responsibility, but I'm going to use it. That does mean that it means we should consider taking responsibility because of the great benefit that we've had from it, is to continue to preserve it. And that's what we're doing. We're doing it right here, right now, by participating in it. So thank you, Ram. Tim, how are you tonight? Good to see. What happened to the background? I'll unmute you. Are you going to?
Hello, everybody.
There you go. Hey, Tim.
What an amazing, what a very auspicious time that we're in. This, you know, we experienced this through 9/11, so, you know, all of us, and it's a profoundly different experience for me because of the Dhamma, because the calmness and the profound understanding of what is happening at the present time is there from practicing the Dhamma, from talking to people in the Sangha. You know, fear, like Kevin hit it right on the note on the head, it's a distraction. You know, we can't see it, we can't hear it, we can't experience it through our senses. It's this unknown. And that's, by using the Dhamma, we can see that that's the dukkha, that's the ignorance of the Four Noble Truths right there, that fear of unknown that people are experiencing. And I came to the conclusion a couple weeks ago that it's important not only to be gentle with myself, but to be gentle with others, because not everybody is experiencing the Dhamma at all. They're experiencing full-on dukkha and all that comes with it. And being a calming voice, with genuinely calm in those situations, I think benefits everybody.
Absolutely does.
And that's really how I feel about it. And this teaching is exactly, goes to the point where it just shows the impermanence of everything. All the material things that we ourself identifies with can be gone like that. Gone like that. But the Dhamma is here. It's always here with us. at the present moment, regardless of the situation that's going on around us. That's what I'm experiencing through this teaching and through this experience. So thank you, everybody, for your comments and your insights, and thanks to the Sangha and to you, John, as well.
And thank you, Tim, for being a big part of all this. Let's get on. Sarah, how are you tonight? I'm glad you joined us. Sarah is someone who has been studying with us for a couple of years now. She lives up in Maine. And Sarah, we talked about this too, just full disclosure. If you'd rather just keep quiet tonight, that's fine. It's okay. So, but if you have something to say, we'd love to hear it. You're good. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for hosting this online and pulling this together. It's very helpful. For me, the storm is inside. It's not so much outside. There are things going on here. Schools are closed down and businesses are closing down. And as of yet, I still have my job and things like that. So it hasn't affected me. My own life is in upheaval. Because my life tends to be in a swirl anyways, I'm used to having to deal with that swirl. I get a lot of people coming into a store and there are a lot of things going on. It's not impacting me directly yet, but my own life is impacting me directly. And I mean, when it comes to the state of, am I going to get a virus that's going to take me out? Will I become compost this month? I don't know. Or, will life determine that I'm compost for the next generation, or that I've still got a little bit left in me? It doesn't really matter to me, but I just have to get through the next day. And I could use a little more serenity, a little more of that sukha, not dukkha. So I appreciate the teaching tonight, and I appreciate everything that everybody said. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Sarah, and just please continue, and we'll talk again soon. Helen, how are you tonight? I see Helen's on. I don't see Helen's face, but I see her name. How are you, Helen?
Trying to unmute. Hi, John. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm doing well. I'm in touch with all my family members to make sure that they are as well. My mom is obviously getting bored because she figured out how to FaceTime today. So it was quite comical because she didn't really realize she was doing it. So I'm just following the precautions, keeping a social distance. I am fortunate in that my work takes me outside, which is where I think that's the best place to be right now. Get out, get some fresh air, take a walk. This time, though it is uncertain, it's also a gift, because how often do we get permission to just stop and have nothing more expected of us than being practical and safe during this time? So I'm encouraging people to go and buy pansies and get some fresh air. I think that the other thing that's a gift now is impermanence, because we know that this has an end. It had a start and it will have an end date. We just don't know when it is, but we know it's not going to last forever. And, we all just need to be smart and practical and take the precautions that we've been advised to, and, keep in touch with our loved ones, especially the elderly ones. So that's how I'm living my life right now. And, I'm embracing the impermanence of this, knowing that, every day is a day closer to when it will pass.
That's right. Thank you, Helen. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. We've touched on this, I think everyone, one way or another. The the chance of actually getting the virus is very, very remote for individuals. But if you get it and it ends up killing you, it's just a reminder that the Buddha gave a here. Let's take to the Dhamma today, because we don't know. The next moment is always uncertain. And what could be more important in life than to develop the Dhamma to its culmination and at least have a few calm and peaceful days? I mean, honestly, why not? If the end for me comes tonight or in this breath, I can at least say that I've had a calm and peaceful mind in this life. And I could not have said that a few years ago. In fact, I wouldn't have seen any value in that. That would have sounded like that's the most ridiculous thing to even strive for. There's got to be more to life than a calm and peaceful mind. But now I know that's the most important thing. It's the most valuable thing. Than to take care of my own thinking, my own well-being. And that's also reflected in what's going on today. Those that are going to make it through this outbreak are going to be the ones that are most responsible for themselves and not expecting other people to do for them, not expecting other people to change for them, not expecting worldly situations to change just because they're in the world. We take to the Dhamma, we practice it diligently, peacefully, and gently with ourselves, and we reap to the rewards, and the world continues. Quite an adventure, isn't it, folks?
Indeed.
A few things to touch on. You got the email. Our next physical class in Frenchtown will be April 4th, if conditions allow. We just thought it best to put a date out there. It seems to be everybody's talking about 2 or 3 weeks at the minimum, and so that's what we're talking about. But any changes in the schedule will be posted on the website and sent out. But we'll continue to meet like this. I talked to the ministers. I heard from the ministers at Juan Dharma Center about our retreat, and they're canceling retreats until April 19th. So our retreat is still on, but again, that may change. We'll know more about that closer to the date. And if we have to cancel, we have a fall retreat already scheduled, and those that are registered, we can just keep those reservations for our fall retreat, or I'll refund your money. And other than that, let's continue to be very gentle with yourself. And the only other thing I would say is what Helen just said. You know somebody that's in need. You know you got an elderly neighbor or someone who can't get out. Yeah, go to the store for them, get them some food, or if they need some medicine, go to the pharmacy for them, and enjoy our time. Helen just hit it right on the head. This is a time that we can be quiet. Usually we got to try to carve that out, and make an excuse why we take 10 minutes of quietness. Let's take a couple of weeks. We can put some time into the Dhamma, put some time into just learning about ourselves and the world. And we have this incredible thing called the Refuge of the Buddha and the Dhamma and our well-focused Sangha as our true refuge. So, anybody have anything else they'd like to say, or you have anything you want to get off your chest, or any needs you might have that the Sangha can help you with?
Hey, John.
Yes.
John, I just would like to, when Ram was talking, Rama, you had said something very important. I think there, and something for us to all think about. Like you touched on the penetrating nature of the Dhamma, or to penetrate deeply, and at this time, or basically at any time, penetrating discernment, so to say. That's one of the. I think, John, you've used that word many times, and I love that term. I just think that's very important to understand. Like through difficult times and difficult, maybe that sometimes we don't understand things, or which way to go with the Dhamma, but the deeper we the deeper we go with that introspective, insight, we come to, we're able to, or enables us to find the wisdom that is there, to find the answers that we're seeking. I find that the deeper I go into the Dhamma at times, especially if I'm lacking some understanding or clarity, the deeper I look into it and the more I become introspective, I kind of find the answers there, and without fail. And again, it's just it just makes you feel like you're being like encompassed by that, that encompassing feeling of that I've found a safe refuge. So I just want to touch on that, and Ram touched on it, and I just think it's a very important thing for us to what was I going to say, to feel that, or to search for it when the time is necessary.
Thank you, Michael. That you said it all with that one line. You always find the answers there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
We're concerned about how we're doing in the world, and especially if we think we're not doing too well in the world, take a breath, get back into your body, and look at the Dhamma. And
go back in. Mm-hmm.
You'll find that you're doing just fine. The world is the world, and it's always going to be this way. And the Dhamma has always been the Dhamma. It's always been a refuge. But like the Buddha said, there's very few who just have that little speck of dust in their eyes that can understand this and appreciate it.
John,
Yes.
can I?
I'm sorry.
I just want to say that the theme of the refuge that was part of this teaching, you all have been that for me. So specifically that. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you, Sarah, thank you. You are just, what you have said tonight in your presence is, how do I say this correctly? You are just as important and significant a part of our Sangha, and you have helped us all in the Dhamma by just your honest sharing tonight. So thank you for that. And I know everybody else feels the same.
Thank you, Sarah.
This is how a Sangha works. It doesn't work from, there's not 4 or 5 of us that are advanced. This is one of the things I don't like about modern Buddhism. There's hierarchical things, advanced levels. We don't have this here. We are one Sangha. I'm a member of your Sangha. This isn't John Haspel's Sangha or the Buddhist Sangha or the Cross River Meditation Center Sangha. It's your Sangha, and we prove it every class. Just this class, we proved it. Sarah has helped us. When we first got online a little bit earlier, Tim and Michael and Julie were online just a little bit earlier. And Tim said something that was helpful to Michael and Julia. Again, this is how it works. And we've all supported each other in maintaining a calm and peaceful mind and moving ahead, into the next moment of peace with a reasonable expectation that life is just okay. And it's okay because this is what life is. There's all kinds of things going on all the time. We just, something else, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear this because there's enough people looking at it, that they'll find another virus that emerged that didn't have the impact that this had. And the point that I'm making is these things happen all the time and we don't hear about them. There's just so much focus on this that we are kind of losing our minds a little bit. We don't know how bad this is going to be. We should be doing most of the things that we're doing. This social distancing, I think, is a good idea, but we shouldn't lose our minds over it. There's no reason to do that ever. It's too precious a thing, our individual minds, and that's up to us. That's up to each and every one of you to continue to practice the Dhamma, continue to develop the Dhamma, and to maintain a calm and peaceful mind in this world that's right now is going a little bit crazy. Again, anybody else have anything to add or say? What a great class. So again, we're going to keep doing this for the next couple of weeks. I am going to teach the Ratana Sutta again Saturday, but come back because you'll hear something new that time. Anything else? Yeah. All right, we'll finish with Metta as we always do. Kevin, do you have the Metta Sutta handy? I'm just asking. I have it handy, but if you want to read it, you can. You did.
No, that's all right. Go ahead. You have it.
Right. You did a wonderful job on Saturday. That's the only reason I asked. Do I have a stain on my sweater? Oh, you can't see it anyway. It's okay.
Self-referential.
So okay, we'll finish. These are the Buddha's words on Metta from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings. Radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. Whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Thank you all for joining tonight.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody.
John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.